Hello, Sudoku friends. The torrential rainfalls today kind of prevented me from my 15-kilometer walk that I otherwise had planned. So why don't I just try to solve this little Sudoku here from websudoku.com. I'm not going to tell you the classification or the supposed level of this puzzle because you're all just going to come back and tell me that this wasn't difficult at all anyway. So I'll let you decide whether you find it difficult or not. And I'll just resign myself to trying to solve it. And I can do, at least I can begin this by looking at these fives blocking like so, and this 5 blocking over. 5 must go here. We have an 8 in one of these squares. We have 3 blocking across and across. So here's a 3. 4 blocks up and down. Here's a 4. 8, 3, and a 7 missing. There's a 3 and an 8 blocking here. So here's a 7. Here's an 8, 3. 1 must go here or here, and 7 here or here. And a 3 here or here. Interesting. We got 2s and 9 over here somewhere, and 1s and 7s over here somewhere. That's also quite nice. This 9, of course, blocks these 2 squares, so a 9 must go here. And we got 9s in, or at least 9 candidates in these 2 squares here. And these must be a 6 and a 2. And that gives me a 6 over here in one of these squares. This 7 blocks across, this 7 blocks down, this 7 blocks down. So we got 7s in one of these squares here. We also need a 2 and a 5 and a 6. 5, 2, 2, like so. So we got 2s here or here. But we know that one of these is a 2, so this can't, under any circumstances, be a 2. Therefore, this is a 2. So now we got 2, 6 here, and we got 2, 6 here. Guess what? That means that these have to be 2 and 6. And since this 7 blocks down and this 7 blocks down, we can enter a 7 here. These now must be 5 and 7. One of these must be an 8. 2, 6. What else is missing across here? 1 blocks down and over. One of these is a 1 blocking up. This 1 blocks up. 1 goes here. So what else is happening? A 9 here or here, and also it would seem here or here. 5 blocks up and down and across. Here's a 5. Now we got 5s here, 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 and here. 3 blocks up, right? I think I mentioned that. 6 must go here or here. I was almost going to say and here or here, but it's not true because a 6 could also go in this square here. So that would have been a mistake. And we are not here to make mistakes, though it can't always be avoided, can it? One of these is a 2, though, because this 2 blocks across and this 2 blocks up, and that means that this can only be a 6 and this can only be a 2. How about that? Now an 8, 4, and 1 for these squares. 8. So this is a 1 or a 4, but that's all I can say. 1, 4, 7, 8 here, though. 4, 8, this is a 1, 7. Not sure about that. Let me look at these empty squares here. They must be a 2, 6, 4, 8. And here I think we can do something nice. We know this is a 2, 6. And we know that we have a 4, 8 here. So this is also a 2, 6, isn't it? So we got 4 and an 8 here, 2 and a 6 here, 2 and a 6, 2 and a 6 here, and 2 and a 6 here. But we know that an 8 must go in one of these squares here because this 8 blocks up, and one of these is an 8, right? This must be a 2 or a 9 because we need a 2, 3, 8, and a 9 across here. We know that these are 8 and 3, so here's a 2 or a 9. So a 9 could also go here. I think I need to stop fantasizing about those 9s and get on with the puzzle. I'm noticing, of course, the 1 and the 7 blocking here, this 1 and the 7 blocking here, but alas, 3 squares for 2 digits, that's sometimes a bit too much. I think we found ourselves a single for this row here. I think it's called a hidden single. It's called a hidden single because it's hidden unless you think about it. And it's a single because once you think about it, you know that nothing else can go in this square but that particular number. Let's look at this row here. We're looking for a 6 in this row because we have a lot of 6s, and this 6 blocks here, this 6 blocks here, this 6 blocks here. And guess what? This is a 4 or an 8, and therefore can't be 6. And therefore this must be a 6. This now must be a 7, because this 7 blocks these 2 squares, and here we are now faced with a 3 for this square and a 1 for this. Now we got 1s, and we got 2s, and we got 9s going in these 3 squares. Okay? And we know that these are 3 and 8, and that leaves only 1 square to figure out. And that's got to be a 7. And let's return for a moment to our good friend here, row 4. We are looking now for a 3. Remember what this has got to be? It's got to be a 4 or an 8, and therefore it can't be a 3. This 3 blocks here, so 3 must go here. So now we got 3 and 9 in these 2 squares. We got 3 here and 9 here, 3 here and 9 here, 3 here and 9 here. So these 2 squares have got to be a 3 and a 9. And that means that this 2 here must go here. And remember how we said these are 2s and 6s? This 2 now makes this a 6 and this a 2. So 3 and 9 here, 6 blocks over and up, here's a 6. 6 and 9 here, we are now looking for an 8 and a 4. This 6 blocks up, these 2 6s block these squares, therefore a 6 must go here. Here we're looking for a 4 and an 8 in both these 2 squares. And a 4 and an 8 here, of course, and still a 5 for this square or this square and for these 2 squares. So let's look at these squares here. These are, as we said, 3 and 9. Therefore, these must be 1, 6, and a 7. Since we have a 6 blocking up here and down here, we know that this is a 6. And these are both now 1s and 7s. And now we start with finding a 7 for this square or for this square. But finally, we do have all the 6s for this particular puzzle. Now we got this 2 blocking up here and this 2 blocking across. So here's a 2. We do have a 2 for this square, of course, because now 2 2s block across, right? So here's a 2. We know that this can't be a 9 because the 9 blocks over. So the 9 must go here. And this one, as we agreed, has got to be a 1 now. Now we got a 1 for this square. And we got a 1 blocking down and across. 1 goes here. Therefore, we know that these were 1s and 7s. So here's now a 7 and here's a 1. 4 and 8 for these squares. 8 blocks here, of course. So here's a 4. Here's an 8. 4 blocks up here. And therefore, we have a 4 here. This is now a 3 and an 8 pair, making these a 9 and a 1. The 1 blocks here, so here's a 9, here's a 1. We remember that this therefore must be a 3, right? And this is a 9 now. 4, 8, 4, 8, 4, 8. And this, we shouldn't forget, is a 4. Still our good friends here, the 5 and the 7. Got this 9 blocking up, and we got this 9 blocking across, so here's a 9. And here we're looking for an 8 and a 3. This is easier because we got this 3 blocking, so here's an 8 and here's a 3. This now is an 8 and this is an 8 and this must be a 3. And this also must be a 3, and we are now looking for a 7 and a 4. The 7 blocks up, so here's a 4, here's a 7. And that makes this a 7 and this a 5 and this a 5. Now we are looking for a 4 in this square here and also in this. That makes this an 8. And this also is an 8. That was quite a nice little puzzle from websudoku.com. I hope that you liked it and that you will come back for more soon.